All right, let's take a look at what Mr. Doug Censor Martin is saying. This is Twitter clip, so quality is probably going to be a little shit.
Make sure we clip
Yeah.
this because I'm calling out Dashy right now. And I'm calling him out for very specific reasons. I've known Brandon since the very beginning. I've seen this guy, Brandon, play on basically every tailor-made situation he's ever wanted for the most part. I mean, I'm sure there's some that he didn't, but all I see from Brandon is the embodiment of the Optic gaming culture that Seth always sets. And I have a huge fundamental disagreement with it. And I think Brandon's the biggest issue here. I think that Brandon is always getting everything he wants. I think he's the most straightest shooter in Call of Duty history. He's such a likable guy, and he uses all of it to his advantage to get whatever he wants. And all it's equated to is lackluster.
Okay, first of all, Dashy has been dropped from Optic twice. So as far as him getting what he wants, I don't think that that's true. I mean, it took Hector, who, yes, he like runs the team, but overall, I mean, that's a team. It's a team thing, and especially when Scump was there, like Scump is running that team pretty much. So it took Hector coming in and saying, "Hey, Dashy, you're coming back. We're putting you back on the team." That's incorrect.
Champs performances, 0 rings, and
Also, I don't mind Doug. I think he's a little crazy, but he's a personality that you just have to like get
two
over.
championships in 5 years with every single situation tailor-made to what you want. You're getting Shotzi, you're getting Hugh, you're getting Illy, you're getting this guy, you're getting that guy, you're getting Scump. You're doing everything that you want. And I think this is just the Optic culture. And I think Brandon's the biggest culprit of this culture in that building. He will always drop great numbers. If you're that guy, Brandon, and I know that you can be that guy, you got to start playing to win.
I will say, as far as culture goes, the only thing that's really came out about Dashy and the culture at Optic was the whole Rambo Ray thing about, basically Rambo was kind of the reason why Dashy was going to get dropped. And then once they brought Dashy back a week later, he was the reason why Rambo got dropped as their coach. So that's probably that's the only culture thing that I know of.
You got to stop playing for kills. You got to start being more of a team player. Everything is a team shot. I think that Optic, again, just like every other year, and it's like the Dallas Cowboys in the NFL. Every year, everyone thinks they're going to be so good because they get all these great slayers. And I'm telling you, I've seen this for the last 10 years. Pat, we beat them with you having stitches in your thumb, and you had no sleep. And we had to beat them in 2 best-of-5s, and they had a dynasty squad just like they always did,
I'm
right?
different. I'm different.
There's certain people that are different, like Kismet, who we're alluding to right now, right? Like Dashy, to me, you got to change your ways, man. You continuously repeat the same mistakes over and over and over again. You've been benched countless times. You keep on getting bailouts from Hector. Hector keeps on bringing you back up. Like, you got to take your accountability, Brandon. And I'm saying this in terms of love because I believe in Brandon. I love Brandon. I think he's a great dude. Straightest shot in Call of Duty history. That's some wasted talent if you don't get a ring, bro. You're only going to get that ring if you change the way you're going about it. If Optic Gaming keeps Dashy and Shotzi and picks up Pred, I'll say it right now, they're never going to win anything. I'll bet my house on it. By the way,
I would agree with that. I don't Pred, great player, but the way that he plays, I just don't think the team dynamic is going to be there. Pred's very ratty, very laying down all the time. Shotzi's going out doing his own thing. When you're laying down and playing like Pred plays, most of the time you're doing your own thing. Don't think it's a great dynamic. I do think it's an upgrade from Hook, but I don't think it really moves the needle as much.
the coaches are getting fired. Rambo's not in there anymore. They're trying to figure out a new coach. They got Karma making these cameo appearances. Let's call this for what it is, guys. It's all just some hype. It's just some hype. This is all hype to get clout and engagement. This is literally all it is. If you guys are actually about it, if Karma wants to be the coach, Karma should be all in with the coaching. You should be enforcing the culture. If no one wants to fall in line with Karma's culture, you bench them. You don't bring them back in. You got to set a precedent. You can't enable these guys to just walk through life making all this money without getting any accolades, man. 2 championships in 5 years for someone like Brandon is unacceptable. I need more out of him. I expect more from Brandon.
I will agree again with Doug as before I get to what I disagree with. When he talks about Optic as a whole, as far as how they've performed and everything since basically the CDLs came about, like they have underperformed. They have probably the most amount of money that they're spending on their roster than any other team, especially when Scump was there. Yeah, they have underperformed. I just don't think Dashy is the right person to go after here. Like after Scump retired, they tried to get Pred, they couldn't get Pred, so they brought in Hook. Hook was kind of that defining person for their team as far as when he played well, the team won. Like that's just it. Dashy, I do think he's the guy that's not really going to take over a game, but he's an AR. Like he watches lanes. He's there to get kills. He's there to pick up his one on one and continue to do that. Like that's his role. So as far as kill whoring, I mean, I think that's what you want Dashy to do. Obviously, you don't want him to watch a lane that's irrelevant to, what's going on with the objective on the map. But as far as like Dashy being a kill whore and having the best stats, like that's his role. I think Ghosty is probably like the way that Censor's talking is Ghosty's probably the guy that he should be coming after because Ghosty is the guy that was brought in to play hill time, to play objective, to pick up the bomb, to basically calm these guys to be in positions that they should be in order for them to have success around the objective. As far as like gameplay goes, Ghosty's Ghosty's not out here putting up the best stats because of the way that his position is, like his role is to calm out, hey, there's two left. These are the two guys that are alive. Find them type shit. Watch this, watch that. Like that's his role. So I feel like with both Dashy and Ghosty, it's kind of hard to put any blame on them two when they're kind of just playing their roles. I think the two most undefined roles for this team is the two SMGs with Shotzi and Hook. And I think that that's why they had like okay success at the beginning of the season when they had Scump because Scump knows how to play the game. And I think that that's where they find trouble in is early on in the year. You saw it a lot with Shotzi where he's challenged when he doesn't need to. Like they have the point. There's no reason to take a 1v1, a 50-50 when you guys have the point. Just watch the angle, stay still, let it happen. Let the game come to you when you have the objective. I think all year the situation with Optic has always been about Hook and Shotzi. And you could probably say that for a bunch of teams, but I just feel as if that's what this team's success has been about since they lost Scump, just because of the slaying power, the potential slaying power that they have with those two, and then the potential just throwing it away, throwing objectives away, throwing hard points away because Shotzi and Hook are going out of their way to try to do something that's unnecessary. So I don't really think. And at the end of the day, like Dashy had the highest KD at the end of the year. So for Optic, that is. So I don't really think Dashy's the problem. And also about like accountability. I don't think Dashy's never publicly came out and said, "Oh, I was the best player during the series" or whatever. Like he's never done that. So I don't know. Some of a faded take from Censor. Dashy did respond. They went back and forth. Um, Doug, I love Dashy. Always saw unlimited potential in him. Hopefully, he takes this the right way. Dashy comes back. Say whatever BS to stay relevant in the community because the gameplay surely isn't doing it, brother. Big, big shots. You're right. I've been in challenges for years fighting for a spot. Hopefully, I get mine soon and I could put you in your place, in the place you deserve to be. Dashy responds with maybe next year is the one, bro. Keep at it. Doug says appreciate it. A little banter back and forth. I don't know. Nothing too much.